Hey friends, welcome to the Morning Brew. Today we have a very special guest, our Ajax youth pastor, Brent Baggett. Brent, welcome to the Morning Brew.
Brandon, it is a pleasure to be here.
Let's go.
I've been looking forward to this day for many weeks.
I've been looking forward to this.
I didn't know if it would ever happen, but it's here.
Here we are. We're matching. We've got the limited edition Sanctus Youth hoodies.
You got to represent the youth ministry.
You got to represent the youth ministry.
You got to.
Brent, this is a special thing because we've both grown up here at Sanctus. We've both been part of the youth group, which you now are the leader of.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
But even before then, you had a little bit of a story about our background. Now, we have not always seen eye to eye on everything.
No.
I like to think we see eye to eye a little bit more these days.
We most definitely do.
But you had this story that you're talking about this week. Why don't we just share with the audience a little bit about our background together?
Sure. So Brandon and I, as I said, we grew up at the church together. Our parents brought us to this church. So we went to, it was called C4 Kids back in the day. And so we grew up going to that. And our parents were in a connect group together.
Yes.
And so when parents get in a connect group together, guess what? The kids are coming too.
They got to go in the basement though.
So
there's
rules.
Absolutely. There's rules.
You get put in the basement, you hang out there, and you come up to get the snacks, and you go back down because you don't really want to be up there anyway.
No.
Especially as a kid. So, so I remember that. We would go to your parents' house, we'd hang out in your basement, you had the coolest toys. You had rescue heroes. I never had any rescue heroes, so I was like, Brandon's house is the place to be.
That's right.
But you also had a computer. It was, I'm dating myself now, but it was like Windows 95 or something. And you had this Tonka truck game on there.
Very important.
And I liked playing that game, but there were weeks where, whatever reason, you weren't happy with me, and you would try to convince me that your computer was broken so I couldn't play the game, even though it was very evident it was not broken. You just didn't want me to play the game.
I wish I knew the reason why I came up with that. I have to think it must have been something about like I had a high score, but I feel like I wouldn't have even had a high score.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we just didn't see eye to eye. We were figuring each other out. You know, I came over to your house and started playing with all your toys, and I was bigger than you because I'm a little bit older. So I don't know, man.
Who knows? But Brent, I'm thankful that we have let bygones be bygones.
Absolutely.
We have reconciled. I think we need to shake on it.
We do.
It is finished.
Done.
It is done.
It's done.
We're here today, though, to talk about something very special, the Sanctus Youth.
Yes.
Now, as someone that's been to youth, I've seen the way that you lead things, and I know that you like to have a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Often youth group has to start off with a bit of a game. Yes. And I think this is a great way to play a game together, but also to include everyone that's watching at home in a bit of a game. And let me tell you about what we're going to do today.
What are we doing, Brandon?
We're playing a game called Moose, Meese, Moosen. Now, the premise of this, the English language is a little bit silly.
It certainly is.
We are going to be going through 5 rounds of this game, trying to figure out what the plural of this singular word is. So here's an example. The word moose is the first thing that we're going to be talking about.
Okay, yeah.
What is the plural of moose? Is it, a flock of moose? Would you say there's a herd of meese?
Yes.
Or would you say that there's a gaggle of moosen?
Well, I'll say this. I am not an English expert whatsoever, but I do know my animals generally. I liked watching Crocodile Hunter a little too much.
Crikey.
This is moose. The answer is moose for sure.
Moose? Let's see.
I'll lock that in 100%.
Okay. So now that you've seen at home, we're going to be playing this game together. We'll go back to, head to head, trying to see who gets the correct answer. Some of these you'll notice the round number is going to be a little bit different because we did a select sampling of the game.
Okay.
Because we're on a bit of a time schedule today.
That's okay. We always are.
We always are. But let's go to round 1 of Moose, Meese, Moosen.
Well,
the first question. Yes.
Hang on.
Yes.
Hang on. Can I do? We didn't plan this, but I'm going to throw something out there.
Please.
You playing along out there, if you are in high school or you are in grade 6, 7, or 8, and you're playing along, play along with us. If you get all 5 right, we'll send you some merch.
Ooh, I like
right.
This.
Stakes are always
the
high.
Antes are up.
I'll get Brandon to send it your way. You post in the comments if you do it.
That's right. So here's round 1. Lasagna. What is the plural of lasagna? Is it lasagna, lasagnas, or lasagnes?
Oh my gosh.
I'm going to go with lasagna. I think that has to be correct.
I'm gonna put an S on it. Lasagnas.
Lasagnas. What is the plural of lasagnas? Lasagna.
Now, to clarify, did you read these before?
I didn't read these before. That just sounds correct.
That sounds right to you? Well, it is right.
Let's go to round 2.
All right, let's keep going.
Axe. What is the plural of axe? Is it axopedes, axi, or axes?
There's no way it's, don't even try and tell me it's axopedes. Nobody's saying that. That's not a thing. Axes, like axes, like no, because that doesn't make sense either. I'm going axi. I don't know if it's right. It sounds wild.
I'm gonna go with axes. Axes.
Are you sure you did not read these beforehand?
I didn't read these. I just happen to be a genius.
Man, I should have put the game together.
Round 3. Focus. Is it focuses? Foci? I don't even know how to say it. I don't know if I can get this one right.
Well, it can't be that one. We can't even say it.
We can't even say it. I'm gonna go with focuses.
I'm going with foci.
Apostrophe.
Because I think it sounds the coolest.
Foci? The answer is foci.
I'm on the board, baby!
Amazing.
Let's go!
Round 4. Sphinx. We don't use this word very often.
No, I mean, but when you do, there's usually at least 2 of them.
Would you say that they're sphinx? Are they sphinxes or are they sphinct?
I can't go with sphinct. It's too close to other words. I'm going with sphinxes.
I'm gonna go with sphinct. Oh,
we're both. Who came up with that? How is that a thing? Some guy just sat down and was like, yeah, that's gonna be it.
Here's our final round. This is the best one.
Okay.
Hippopotamus. Are we talking about hippopotami, hippopotamids, or hippopotamuses?
I think I'm gonna go with hippomids.
Hippomids? I'm gonna go with hippopotami. Hippopotami.
Oh my goodness. Well
3
done.
out of 5 ain't
Well
bad.
done, Brandon.
That's right.
You won your own game.
I'll expect you to call me sir from now on.
Okay, sir.
That's
I
right,
have been
sir.
humbled.
Youth has been doing some incredible things at the church, Brent. Some things that I know that we've been praying into, some things that we've been working behind the scenes as a church to see come together.
Yeah.
The first thing I'd love to talk about is the youth worship team. Tell us what's been happening at the worship team, because this is actually where I started off serving at the church, was through youth worship.
Yeah.
It's great to see it expanding again. Tell us what's happening with youth worship.
Yeah, youth worship is a initiative that we've been doing in our youth group on and off for several years now. And we have a new iteration of it that just started a couple weeks ago. It's for our grade 9 to 12 students at our Ajax site. And we have like 11 to 13 band members that have stepped up and said, hey, I want to be part of this worship band. And so we're giving them training, we're giving them practice spaces so they can get better. And they're actually going to be leading their own peers in worship.
Nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's so exciting to see how the Lord is using these young people stepping up and getting out of their comfort zone and not just attending church, but wanting to be the church. And we have an awesome young leader. His name's Hunter. He's helping run the thing.
Amazing.
So it's really cool to see young adults pouring into the youth. And then some of our older youth who have been mentored already, who've been discipled, are starting now to disciple other youth. And
That's great.
It's just really special to see how the Lord's working.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't wait to see where it goes from here. And it's just an awesome thing to see the Lord moving.
Now, I know that you have had an alter ego as DJ B. Rent.
That is true.
Is there any appearances of DJ B. Rent in the worship team, or is that for separate occasions?
So DJ B. Rent does not come out too often these days. DJ B. Rent is getting old. That being said, on special occasions, he may make an appearance. I don't know if he'll be in the band, but maybe like a pre-show, after party.
I like to see it.
It could definitely happen.
I like to see it.
But we got some up-and-coming DJs that we've been building into, so let's make way for them to come show us their stuff. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Brett, the youth are taking part of an initiative called the Coldest Night of the Year.
Yes, sir.
Now, I know this, there's lots of different churches across the region that take part of this. There's nonprofits that are happening to raise money for this great organization. Would you talk a little bit about how is Sanctus Youth partnering with Coldest Night of the Year? What's the initiative? And I know you're working towards a goal. Could you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Coldest Night of the Year is an initiative where we're partner that supports this this organization called The Refuge. The Refuge is one of our local partners at our Ajax site. They serve underprivileged youth, so youth that are vulnerable or homeless. And so we have the opportunity to raise funds to be able to support their work. And they do all of their efforts in Oshawa, so it's local young people in our community that don't have enough. And it gives us a chance to be able to come alongside them and support them in that way. And so we're doing a 5-kilometer walk through this initiative, and we're trying to raise $3,500. And I'm happy to share with you, as of today, We have already raised over $2,000 of those dollars.
Amazing.
So praise the Lord for that. We're well on our way to meeting our goal. I would love for us to even exceed it. And so I want to encourage the viewers, if you would like to partner with us in this endeavor, there'll be a link available, in the description or the chat, something like that. And
Definitely.
yeah, we would love for you to support this cause, because there are plenty of youth that don't have enough food, that don't have a place to sleep, that are going through difficult times, and we as the church have an opportunity to help them. And I don't want us to miss out on that opportunity.
Brent, you've talked a lot about putting our faith into action the past couple of weeks as we've been having conversations about what's happening with the youth. I think this is such a great initiative to see us walk, not just saying that we are followers of Jesus, right? It says in James that if you were to just walk by someone that's in need and say, God bless you, that's not enough, right? That's not living out our faith. So this Coldest Night of the Year initiative, I think, is a great way to come and partner with that. And it's not just the youth, right? I think if anybody else was interested in partaking in this walk, fundraising, they could be a part of that as well, right?
It's open to everybody who wants to do it, adults included. We just, as a youth team, have made it a priority and initiative to get our youth involved in
That's great.
Seeing this come into action. So,
as we talk about putting our faith into action, this is also an act of discipleship.
Yes.
We love to celebrate big as a church, and one of those things includes baptisms.
Yes.
Now, youth have been going through baptisms. This is something we've seen a lot of this year.
Sir.
A big celebration of this, of course.
Absolutely.
Can you share what's been going on with youth baptism so far through this year and the past year, and just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Lord has been very persistent in bringing youth forward to take the next step in their faith. And so we've had 13 students get baptized since the beginning of the school year.
Amazing.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
If you've had a chance to be here on a Sunday, you've maybe had a chance to see them and hear the testimonies, but it's just been so cool to see how the Lord is working in young people's lives and helping them take that next step in their walk.
Yeah.
It's a big hurdle for young people to come to the conclusion they need to get baptized. It's really making their faith their own and not doing it just because their parents bring them to church. It's recognizing, that you want to follow Him for the rest of your days, and it's coming to the conclusion that, there's no age restriction on getting baptized. You don't have to be a certain age.
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a certain level of perfect. It's the exact opposite. As long as you've put your hope and trust in the Lord and you're going to follow Him, you're qualified. And so it's been great to see youth come to that conclusion and take that step in obedience.
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited because rally nights are coming up.
Yes,
you
sir.
mentioned the youth worship team that's happening.
Yes.
Now, people want to hear the youth worship team, especially the youth want to be, worshiping alongside of their peers.
Yes, sir.
This is an opportunity that I understand. The youth worship team actually gets to now lead in worship. Is that correct?
Not at this time.
Not yet.
We're almost there.
Okay.
We're almost there.
Tell us a little bit about Rally Night. What's coming up?
Yeah, Rally Night is going to be an incredible night. It's an opportunity for our youth groups across all of our sites to come under one roof at one time. This is something that we've been pushing towards and building towards for years, and what's finally going to happen on the 15th of February.
Nice.
And so youth from grade 5 to grade 12 or grade 6 to grade 12, depending which site you're coming from, are going to be all together. We're going to have a night of praise. It's going to be led by our Sanctus worship team.
Amazing.
And we have a guest speaker coming in. His name is Mike Gordon. He's going to be awesome. And it's just going to be a real celebration of young people to know that they're part of the kingdom of God and that they're not in this all by themselves.
Yeah.
And that we are part of a bigger church and God is doing something even bigger than we can even see week in and week out. And so I'm really looking forward to this celebration that we're hosting.
That's great. This reminds me of the Palm Saturday initiative that we're doing as all sites coming together under one roof to worship the Lord together. This is great that we're seeing kind of like a small version of this as all the youth groups coming together in one room to have community with each other, because we're not always seeing each other when we're at different sites. But it's important as one church to get together to see, how is the Lord working in Pickering? What discipleship areas have there been growth in Port Perry? To come together, especially through times of worship. I think this is an incredible thing to see.
Yes, absolutely. It's pretty much the same type of gist as Palm Saturday, just for teenagers exclusively. And so I encourage you to intercede and pray for that event and that the Lord would show up and young people would experience His Spirit.
Yeah. The last thing I want to touch on, I know there's a need currently within the Sanctus Youth for volunteers.
Yes.
Talk a bit about, what are the volunteer positions? What are the volunteers doing right now? But also, if there's people that are tuning in, that are interested in getting involved, maybe serving the church, they've been praying, where can I best use my gifts to serve the Lord? How does that look like in youth?
Yeah, so our youth ministry has lots of different opportunities for people to serve. And basically, no matter what your gifts are, there is a role for you to be able to serve in the ministry. in many ways, we're like a church within the church. And so we need all the gifts, and we need all the types of people to be able to lead it. And so we have an awesome group of leaders. Shout out to that team. You are all legends. But they invest in a small group of young people week in and week out, and they journey with them through their faith. And so they're there to give them wisdom and encouragement, and to pray alongside them, and to discuss whatever it is that we're talking about in our youth group. And they're just to make sure that everybody has a trusted adult in their lives that demonstrates the love of Christ to them.
Yeah.
And so if you feel compelled to get serving somewhere, this is a great opportunity. We have a need, especially for men, to get involved. We need really a lot more adult men to get involved serving. And so I encourage you, pray about it, consider it. We hope that you would partner with us and ensure this next generation has people cheering them on and supporting them as they take steps in their faith.
That's awesome. Well, Brent, it's so encouraging to see the ways that the Lord continues to work through the youth. Thank you so much for your leadership and guidance over this generation of new worshipers, not new worshipers, but growing worshipers into this family that we call Sanctus Church. You're doing an incredible job, and it's great to hear everything that's happening. Hopefully you can join us for another time on the Morning Brew soon.
I would absolutely love to. And Brandon, thank you for having me. You're doing a splendid job online. It's amazing to watch you grow this thing and evolve, and all the great strides that you're making in our online ministry and our online site. So thank you for all that you're doing.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to serve alongside you. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a pleasure to be your friend.
So good.
Yeah.
Until next week, the Morning Brew is brewed to inspire, served to equip, and we will see you next week. Thanks for watching.
Bye, everyone.